Hey guys, welcome back to this channel. I am going to be discussing the books that I have picked to read for the month of September. So, I said in my wrap-up that I have a specific way of how I've started doing my TBR, and I recorded a live on my Instagram, but I'm a bit of a dummy sometimes and I don't understand how to save lives to my highlights, which I wanted to start doing, but I'm just back here on BookTube, so it doesn't really matter. But so that means I picked the books already, and so I will talk about, but I won't actually be picking them like I have. But for October, you'll see I'll actually go through the process and you'll get to see it. So what I do, if I can so these 4 shelves, you can't see past my chair, these 4 shelves are just kind of my tentative books that I need to get done and get read. What I had been pulling from was that's when I used to pull like the prompt, and I had picked 2 of them, I believe is how I used to do it, things like that. What I started doing was I wrote down numbers 1 through 100 and whatever I have, and I was drawing from that and just picking numbers. And so now the way I have it, I still have some prompts left, so I do 1 prompt that I pick from there, and I do 1 number. So let's just do that first. Oh, I remember. So normally that's what I do. Okay, so let me start by saying I picked that, and then I just decided that I want to try to squeeze more books in and read more and get through my giant TBR. And so I decided to also start trying to be Lala herself, because I love her so much, we all know, and start doing more creative and secret videos. So I have a video that I did start recording that I'm going to be doing for the month. And that's a secret TBR. And so there was 1 book on here that I picked, and that was The Queen of Bright and Shiny Things, and I had 0 desire to read that book, so I ended up putting it back when I picked up these other books for the secret TBR. So that's what I'm missing. I believe that was the number I picked. Yes, because the prompt I picked, so let's get back into it. So I picked the prompt. The prompt I picked, I believe, was something like a post-apocalyptic book or something like that. And so I went through these 4 shelves and pulled out all the books that fit that, and then I did a random asked Siri to pick a number between 1 and however many books I had, and I ended up getting Blindness by Jose Saramago, and this is also a movie. This is a book that I picked up at a library sale for like $1. I don't have much interest in it. It sounds actually interesting enough, but it says the city is hit by an epidemic of white blindness which spares no one. Authorities confine the blind to an empty mental hospital, but there the criminal elements hold everyone captive, stealing food rations and assaulting women, so on and so on. So it sounds pretty interesting, and I actually am getting the audiobook for this, because I always try to get some audiobooks because I just can't read this many books physically. I just am a pretty slow reader. As much as I would like to, it just doesn't happen. So this one was that one. And then the number I picked ended up being all the Queen of all the bright and shiny things. And so like I said, I was just so not wanting to read it. So after doing the secret TBR, I ended up just putting it back. Then the next down here are all of my book of the month books. And I decided that I wasn't reading any of them, and so I just needed to start reading 1 a month. So again, I really like to just do the Siri random generator, so I say 1 through however many I have, and that gets picked. But this month I said I was so excited about the picks that I had gotten from Book of the Month for August, got them in August picks, that, okay, long story short, let me show you the book and then I will talk about it. So I just was like, I can't wait to read this one. This is the one I'm reading. And that is The Reckless Oath We Made. For some reason, I have a really hard time remembering this title. Same with her other one. Okay, so the other one is All the Ugly and Wonderful Things. It's like there's just too many words that are specific and I can never remember the order they're in. I always forget. That book is on my top 3 of all time. I love that book so freaking much. And when I put this book on my Goodreads TBR, when it didn't even have a title, just barely came out, I knew I wanted to read whatever Bryn Green would ever put out. So I was so excited. And it was so weird. It's one of those things where I was just like, okay, what are these books? I forgot I created the shelf and I was like, oh yeah, she has one coming out. And I was like, when is that happening? And I seen it literally was coming out in the next few months. And I tried to email her and things didn't work out. I really wanted to get an ARC. And I even put in like giveaways on her Instagram to try to win it. And literally 2 days later, it was the book of the month pick. I shit my pants. Like, I am not lying. I've never bought something so fast in my freaking life. Plus, then they had The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. Like, I wanted every pick last month. Oh my gosh, I can't even explain how good Book of the Month did in the month of August. Anyways, so I was like, I can't wait. I have to read this book now. I don't care. So this will probably be the first thing that I read. Let me read you some. Her name is Z. Is nobody's fairy tale princess. Almost 6 foot with a redhead's temper and a shattered hip. She has a long list of worries. Never-ending bills, her beautiful and gullible sister, her 5-year-old nephew, her housebound mother, and her drug-dealing boss. Z may not be a princess, but Gentry is an actual knight. Complete with sword, armor, and a code of honor. 2 years ago, the voices he hears calls him to be Z's champion, both shy and autistic. He's barely spoken to her since, but he has kept watch, ready to come to her aid. And there is more, but I'm not going to read it. But basically, this has everything in the flap that I love in a book. So I've talked about it many times, but I want to continue to talk about it on my channel, and I actually plan to make it a bigger focus on my channel. I will read any kind of book with autism in it because I have a child who is autistic and she is my whole entire world and I love her so much. Obviously, I want to consume every bit and piece that I can. So the fact, that was all I had to read. As soon as I seen that I had an autistic main character, even more reason for me to pick it up. So like I said, this will be the first thing that I probably start reading tonight. Then, so that's what I do. I do a random generator for Book of the Month. Then up here, nope, these ones are books that I don't really care about. I'm actually going to probably move them and put them into my closet. These ones here are a recent book outlet purchase I made a couple months ago where it was like books slightly out of my comfort zone, things that I think I'll like, but I don't necessarily read that much of. It's when I made this shift from YA. I'm not going to talk about it. I've talked about it incessantly lately. I'm just not a huge fan of YA anymore, and I want to start getting into other things, picking up more genres, really finding what I really love for reading. And so this is kind of that stack where I picked a bunch of things that I don't read that often. So I didn't want to just throw them into here because I'm really excited about them. So again, I pick one of these every month. So I do a number generator. And that one was The Sacred Lives of Minnow Bly by Stephanie Oakes. And this is a book about a religious cult. It says the Kevnian cult has taken everything from 17-year-old Minnow, 12 years of her life, her family, her ability to trust. And when she rebelled, they took away her hands too. Now the prophet has been murdered and their camp set aflame. Blah, 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 blah. I don't want to read anymore. But this sounds super interesting. I love cult culture, if that's what you want to call it. I love hearing about cults, reading about cults, watching things about cults. I find it so extremely fascinating and just interesting to learn about and see into the minds. And so I'm really, really, really excited for this one. I can't wait. Let's read the back. He watches me a moment, and I wonder if he can read in my expression that I will never tell him the truth. I'll give him a version of events, a half-truth, but I haven't told anyone what happened in those smoke-filled moments in January when I stood over the prophet's body and watched him breathe his last ungodly breath, and I never will. I'm real excited about this one. And it was funny, I was picking really super dark, interesting reads, because then we have the Lala shelf, which if you don't remember, or if I never talked about here, maybe I only talked about it on my Instagram. Kayla from Books and Lala, again, I don't think there will ever be a video that I don't bring her up. Sorry, not sorry. She did a video a while back talking about her most favorite books of all time, and then she produced Lalathon. And so I just picked every book I own that she mentioned in that video and made a stack. And so then again, I number generate and pick one of her books every single month. And this month, that book was Emma in the Night by Wendy Walker. I'm sad. I need to tape it or something. It was a scratch and dent one from Book Outlet, so it's falling apart. But I know this is a thriller. It's a YA thriller. All I know about it is there's 2 sisters that go missing and one comes back. The other one does not. The things that happen there. Again, like most people, I don't want to know much about thrillers going in because I want to be surprised. But I just love this cover. It was a cover by, and then Lala says that she loved it. And so I'm really excited. I think that is it. Then like I said, I have a secret TBR coming up that will come up at some point that I'm hot and cold about. Then again, has to do with Kayla. Literally, if I lived in Canada, she'd probably get a restraining order against me for how obsessed I am with her. I just love everything she puts out. If you're not following her, you should, because her content is amazing, original, creative, beautiful, editing queen. It's amazing. So go subscribe to her. Yeah, that is everything that I plan to read in the month of September. I'm so confused on time. Anyways, I really am going to try. I've made a goal and I've planned out time in my day to read more so I can get more things read. And I'm really excited about really dedicating time to reading and this channel and my Bookstagram, and just, it's what I love and I just want to do more time with it. So I hope you all are excited for the journey that we can take together on it. I'm sure you'll be seeing me more, hopefully. But until next time, I'll see y'all later. Bye!